Well, welcome back. We're so glad that you are joining us again for our training that we've been doing. We hope that you were able to listen to the first couple weeks with our S.H.E.A.R recording. So Kaylin is here with me again, and we're going to be, we have 2 more weeks this week and then 1 more week after this of recordings for you. So the first week, if you remember, was S, which was see the image of God.
Yep. See the person, not the problem.
Yes. And H was hear them. Yes. And E was empathize with them. And then today is going to be A, which is ask them another question. Yeah.
Yep.
So Kaylin's going to be digging into that, but we were sitting here talking, and this morning, as I was taking my quiet time, knowing that we were going to be doing this, I was spurred on actually because I was doing the Lectio 365, and there was a devotional about the Samaritan woman and the conversation that Jesus had with the Samaritan woman. But it spurred me on to think the questions that Jesus asked people. So I was actually looking it up, and I read this article, and there were 305 questions that, according to this article, now don't quote me on this, but according to this article, there were 305 questions that are recorded that Jesus asked in the Bible.
So crazy.
Yeah. And most of those questions were what questions or how questions.
I love that.
I know. And so, and the idea behind that is that when we ask a what question or how question, it causes us to we have to slow down actually and listen to that person. And, rather than just expecting a quick answer, we can do that. And I'll go into that. But the what question and how question causes the person in front of us to really think about, actually, what do I want? So Jesus asked, what can I do for you? What do you want me to do for you, right? It causes us to slow down and go, actually, what do I need?
Yeah.
Or how am I today? What is going on in me, or whatever questions. But so there's 305 questions. Maybe we can link to that article. But and then it caused me to really think about. There was actually an interaction that my husband had with somebody, and this guy came up to him one day and he said, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And my husband was like, "Well, actually, I'm having a really rough week. Work's been hard. My mom's really struggling. Like the things are going on in my family, stuff like that." So he kind of went on a little bit, just sharing. And the guy's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I didn't mean tell me your whole life. I just was wondering how your day was." So first of all, Care Ministries just makes me cringe.
I was gonna say my heart hurts.
Oh yeah, and it did hurt my husband. And I think we were just talking about when you ask a question, then to be ready, to be intentional, to hold that space with that person. I think to go, I'm asking, what do you need today?
Right.
How are you doing today? And I think, and we were just talking about that in our care groups, so often people are walking in. I'm thinking our groups are going to be starting. And one of my favorite things to do actually is to be down in the lobby as people are walking in to start our care groups, because I like to see them and welcome them and say, "Thank you for coming. I'm so glad that you showed up." And it's actually really tempting to me to be like, "How are you today?" When I know they're probably not doing well.
Right.
Right? Like, it's so easy to be like, "How are you?" And then be like, and that's not the space that I should be holding with them, because I know if I'm thinking about it ahead of time, if I'm intentionally thinking, I know that showing up for divorce care or grief share or any of our studies, most people are walking in feeling anxious, scared. They don't want to do this. They don't like what they're going through.
It's heavy. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yes.
Infuriating,
Yes, all of those things. So then instead to ask a question, and we were talking about some different ones, but first of all, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. And we were talking about just how are you today, rather than how are you,
Yeah.
But how are you today?
Right.
It's
like we've made hey, how are you, into a greeting instead of like an actual intentional question.
Yes.
And I think that that's kind of the distinction that we're trying to make.
Yeah.
In saying that is when you say, hey, how are you? The expectation is like, oh, I'm good. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes if someone's not good,
yeah,
they don't want to say, hey, actually, I'm not great.
Right. Yeah.
And so the intentionality piece with it, I think, goes a long way. Just to say, how are you today? Like you were saying, you know, and like today, I want to know how today was because I already know that it's probably overall not super.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sure many of you do this just in your sleep. Maybe we're just figuring it out. Oh.
Well.
Anyways,
welcome to our journey.
Welcome to our journey. So, but if you can join in on any of this, we hope that it's helpful. I think asking questions shows that you value that person, and then intentionally sitting with them. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to you and some of the things that you've prepared for today.
Things?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that covers so much of it because it is. A question says, hey, tell me more, and I want to hear more. And so I think when, again, if we go back to someone like holding out that weighted ball, hope you remember that metaphor, but if someone's holding out like this heavy ball, they're like, and here you go. And a way that we can say, hey, we're here with you is also like, so how heavy is this? Tell me more. Like, where did this come from? You know, and I think that it just makes like, okay, cool, I'm safe to bring this here. I'm safe to like share more about this here. And this person actually is like invested and cares and really wants to know. And that in and of itself is a really beautiful thing. And I would say that's actually this really beautiful gift that we can extend to others, which is just like this humble and compassionate curiosity. Because even if we've been through the same thing as somebody else, you know, if you both have been through loss, you've both been through divorce, or we have so many different things that people could be going through. I won't even list all of them. You already know them. But depending on whatever you're going through, you might have experienced a similar situation. But nevertheless, like that person is the expert on their life and what they've gone through. And we are the expert on our own, but not on theirs. And so when we can sit and just like ask questions, I think it cultivates that of, hey, you have a unique and beautiful and incredible story. And I just want to hear about your experience and tell me more about what you've gone through. So I think that questions can be really important. For example, if someone shares, as an example, I'm part of the Blended Families group, and so when I say, oh yeah, I'm part of the Blended Families group, or you know, we're sharing, my husband and I are sharing something about, oh, this is what we've gone through. When someone says, oh, cool, well, how old are the kids? And how long have then you two been married? And how old are the kids? You know, just asking some of those basic questions has always made me feel, okay, cool, I can like share a little bit more of this. And it's not just something that people are like, whoop, that sounds like a lot. We'll just move on to the next thing, you know?
Yeah.
Or if someone's grieving and they say, oh yeah, I lost my sister last year. I lost my aunt, you know, my grandma, whatever it is, whoever it is, just saying, do you want to tell me more about that person? What was their favorite color? What was their favorite thing to eat? Or do you have any good memories that you'd like to share? You know, depending on context, but anytime you can just ask another question to say like, hey, I'm here, tell me more, I think is a really beautiful gift. And because I love metaphors, here's just a way that I like to think about this. But when I was in college, I was in Europe going through London with a friend, and we were like, oh, we've got to go check out some of the cathedrals here because, you know, I bet they're beautiful. And I remember we showed up to this one, and the outside is just beautiful, but it's very like clean, it's pristine, and it's like, okay, I wonder like where all the different like colors and facets of this is. And so I remember we walk in and you had to like leave your phone, leave your camera at the front, and then you could walk down this long hallway. And it's like, as I was walking down, I was like, oh man, this is about to like really open up into something really spectacular. And I remember like walking through this hallway, and sure enough, I walk through this way that then just opens up into the cathedral. And I remember looking up and seeing all these paintings and these colors and this architecture that was just beautiful, and like it took my breath away for a second. And I remember just being like, man, I want to get close to like every single part of this and know who the artist was, who what happened here, and who chose these different pieces. And I just remember sitting in such awe and wonder. And I remember thinking, man, this is what it's like when someone opens up to you, because you can see them on the outside, but once they say, hey, you can come in and like see everything that's going on the inside, it's just a moment that you get to say, wow, I am so privileged to be able to sit here and to see all of this and to experience this, and to then sit here and say, I can see the ache and the hardship, and I can also see the joy and the wonder, and I just get to sit here in awe of it and say, wow, this is your story, this is where you have gone through, and will you tell me more about this over here, and hey, I see something over here, would you just like tell me about that, because I'd love to just like learn more about who you are and what you've gone through. And so I think that that's just what I would kind of extend with asking more questions of people as they're sharing things, is just coming in with the curiosity and saying, wow, I'm so grateful that I get to sit here and I get to learn more about you. Will you tell me more? It's just kind of the posture that we get to have in this with people.
Oh, I love that so much. I love looking at somebody as a cathedral of art, really. The verse. I think it's in the voice, but it's like your poetry etched on human lives. But like what that person, I love that. Each person is like is poetry, is art, and cool. So to look at somebody and really value and want to know more about them, to ask the questions that about them, and to get to know them, and to take the time to be intentional, because it does take time. It really does. Yeah. Which means showing up a little earlier, staying a little later sometimes, being a little slower. I can be in a go mode, and it's really hard to slow down. And I know so many, I'm sure we're not alone in it, but we can just be running, and there's days where you have to, have a set schedule and all of that sort of thing. But we hope that this part of the conversation just stirs you again, just to remember those people who are in front of you, and what questions are going to pull out from them, what they need, and to help them feel valued and seen and known and loved, which is what we want. So I know you had a little something for us to walk through.
Of course, just a little thing at the end, a reflection. But I think it'd be powerful just for you to pause and think of someone in your life who has been really good at asking questions. Someone who not just was a good listener, but then also just knew like good questions to ask to get you to keep talking. So just take a little bit and just think about that. And I would encourage you to think about, well, what kinds of questions did they ask? Because more than likely, similar to Jesus, they were very open-ended. They made you slow down and pause and be reflective. Probably not just a bunch of yes or no questions that were just, yes, no, black, white. More than likely, they were questions that really brought out different sides and thoughts in you. And then if you want to, you don't have to do this part, but if you feel moved and you still have connection with that person, maybe just reach out and thank them for being good at asking questions. The last couple of weeks, we've done a lot of like personal, internal reflection, but this one I think could extend out a little bit more too. And so think of somebody that has asked really good questions. What kind of questions were those? And then if you feel prompted, just thank them for being a good question asker.
I love that, question asker.
Yes, it's now a noun.
We have now made it one.
Yes.
Thank you so much again for
Absolutely.
doing this with me, and we hope that you are watching and enjoying, and that whatever we're sharing, even though we know so many do this so beautifully, all of you do this so beautifully, we hope that this just stirs a reminder in you of something that the Lord is saying, hey, for this semester, for this group, for this person that I've put in front of you. Just a reminder to slow down, value, ask one more question.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.